Just popping on live real quick. I actually want to share some updates regarding marketing as it pertains to your online business. I got inspired by some really awesome information today, and it just made me stop and pause for a moment. And I compiled some notes that I thought was going to be a social media post, and then I decided to send it out as an email to my list. And I dove a little bit deeper into the thoughts, and then I decided it'd be the perfect content to also go live around as well. And so I'm going to actually pull up my email, and I'm going to kind of just like share these quote unquote updates with you to really help you learn how to stay in the online business game, right? The online business space for the long term. So I not only want to help you make money for today and get positioned for today, but I want to be able to help you stay in it for the long term. And believe it or not, I've actually been here for over 16 years, or almost 16 years. August 26th, it'll be 16 years. And knowing what I know about marketing has really helped me to stay in the game. Yes, I've had a lot of ups and downs over the years, but one of the ways I've overcome it, right, is what I'm going to share with you today. And I'm really hoping that this could be so beneficial to you, because if you try to keep up with what you keep hearing out there and you never come to your own conclusions or have like your own mind around what to do, you will absolutely go mad. All right. And so I'm just going to walk through my email, and I'll just dive deeper as I need to dive deeper. And if you're here live and you have any questions or want to chat, feel free to use the live chat. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions or to help you out any way that I can. All right. So number one, it's very, very true that the online platforms are constantly changing. Like there's no doubt about that. All right. So it doesn't matter what the platform is. Like I absolutely love YouTube. And one of the reasons why I love YouTube is even though it is a platform that definitely has an algorithm and it definitely goes through changes and nobody will ever truly know the mind of YouTube. One thing that I love is that it's very, very tried and true. I was able to make my very, very first sale from YouTube. I was able to have, my very first 30 days online, I was able to generate 28 sales because of YouTube. Over the years, I had my first 6-figure year because of videos on YouTube as a part of my marketing strategy. I've made a lot of money by uploading videos over the years and going live. And so even with all of the changes and, advancements, it's been very, very tested, tried and true. But it doesn't matter what the platform is, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Facebook, all of these platforms, they will change over time. Some have gone away. Some are not as hot as they used to be. But the fact of the matter is you have to face facts that they are always changing. And I will actually give you this as an example. When I first got started way back in 2007, I believe it was 2008 that I decided that I didn't want to use Craigslist as a way of marketing like I saw a lot of other people out there doing. And I remember I came to that conclusion because at that time, Craigslist had to keep changing their platform rules to basically protect their business model from people that were using the platform irresponsibly. And I remember my first thought, and remember, I was in business for less than a year at that time, but I already understood, right, like how to evaluate where I wanted to do business. And I remember thinking to myself, I said, you know what, Craigslist changes their rules way too often. And I know it's going to take me way too much to have to keep staying on top of what's going on. And so I decided not to use Craigslist. I hate sometimes going live and doing videos throughout the day just because where I'm positioned. So just hang tight with me, all right? So number one, make up your mind that there is no better, best platform. There is no good, better, best, all right? Best is going to be wherever you can decide to make home and that you can show up consistently with frequency and be very, very prolific. And the way that I like to think about it as where can you show up the best, where you believe you can talk to your most ideal person the best, that you can communicate with them the best, that you can shine and be the most magnetic. That's going to be the platform that works for you. All right. So number one, understand that platforms are constantly changing. In fact, I actually saw a video today, and that's what kind of inspired me to share this. And the video was about how TikTok has recently changed their algorithm. And literally, this person was saying that for the month, there is a way to work TikTok. And all I could think about was, oh my gosh, like imagine having to like every single month figure out what's working, what's not working, and then adjust your marketing strategy to that. And so the one thing that I noted was that if I had to do that, regardless of the platform, the way my mind works, like I would absolutely go mad. That would drive me insane. And it would be really, really hard for me to do what I enjoy doing and what I'm really good at doing if I had to worry about algorithms, if I had to worry about changes, if I had to worry about what's working this month. Like, how can you ever get any kind of stability with your marketing flow? How can you ever create marketing momentum? How can you ever fall into like a marketing mojo? You can't. Right? Not if you're relying upon or thinking that all of your success lies in the algorithms. All right. So we have to understand that these things do exist, but to think that your success and or your failure rises or sets on the algorithms, right, is absolutely false. Right? It's not true. It's never been true, and it will never, ever, ever be true. The reason I can tell you that with certainty is because over my 16 years, I've never worried about those things. The number one thing I've always worried about is number one, knowing who I'm speaking to. All right. I've always had this belief that it doesn't matter like what time I post or what time I upload a piece of content or whether I go live or whether it's perfect or like all of these things that people have created videos about and trainings about and they warn you of or they tell you to take heed of. Like I've been able to generate leads. I've been able to build my own email list. I've been able to make money, like good money, right? Without worrying about any of those kind of things, because I believe for me, I've just set my mind to worry about what matters the most. All right. So if you can decide to focus on the right things, like your business can absolutely change and you can set yourself up for having success for today, as well as having success into the future for the long term. But the one thing I will tell you is not only do you want to focus on what I'm going to share, but you have to decide to really, really buy into it. And you have to decide kind of like, the news is for some people is like you might watch the news so that you're aware of what's going on, right? But don't allow it to sway you, right? Or to take you out of the game or to make you think that you've got to start doing something different or paying attention to something different, because it will absolutely drive you mad. If you were to go on YouTube, right, you're going to see all kind of updates, right? People doing updates to YouTube, say there's updates to TikTok, say there's updates to all of these different algorithms. And if you're anything like me, you would go mad, right? Thinking that you have to keep up with it. So I'm going to tell you exactly what has worked for me, being kind of like a messy marketer. And I say a messy marketer because I just go with what inspires me. I literally show up for people. All right. And I feel like I'm rewarded for that. And so one belief I've always had is that my people will absolutely find me. Like it doesn't matter, right? They will absolutely find me as long as I commit to doing my thing. All right. So the number one thing you want to focus on, right, is knowing exactly who you are talking to. All right. So you really have to define who your ideal person is and then realize that every single day as you do your videos or you do your live streams or you post on Facebook and you do whatever it is that you do, whether it's doing the jig on TikTok or doing the jig on Instagram or, riffing or whatever it is that you do, that you're doing it speaking to that one person. Number two, you have to know exactly what you are selling them. And I would honestly say get really, really solid in what it is that you sell, why you sell it, what the solution is in it, right? And why your most ideal person, right, desires it. The likelihood is you already know what it is that they want. So really now you just have to question, like, is this do they really want this from me? So number one, get solid on who it is you're showing up for every single day. Number two, get solid on what the heck is you're selling them and make sure that you have bought into it. Like, don't be like, oh, I have a gazillion things to offer and you're making it crazy confusing, but instead make sure you have really, really bought into what it is that you're selling. That's how I am in my business. I'm like, if you want to work with me, if you want to learn what it is that I know, if you want to build a business online, like this is my suggestion. This is where we're going. This is what we're doing right now. This is where you need to go. Like I am so sold on what I'm doing because I know I give people like the best of both worlds. I know I give them the education to be able to sustain online, get set up online, and be here for the long term. And then I also give them the opportunity. So I literally give people the education and the opportunity, right, so that they can really begin to thrive, both for today as well as the long term. I am bought in on it. All right. So number one, I know who I'm speaking to every single day. Number two, I know what it is that I'm selling. Right. And number three, right, I give call to actions every single day in every single thing that I do. All right. So I know who I'm talking to. I know what I'm selling. And I invite people every single day to take a look at what I have to offer and also to buy from me. Right. And with everything that I do, I speak directly to them. I'm very definitive in all of the things. And my ideal person knows I'm talking to them. So with the way that I do business and the way that I believe about my business, I don't need hordes and hordes and hordes of traffic. I don't need hordes and hordes and hordes of eyeballs. Like, I don't need to learn how to get more views to my YouTube video. There's a gentleman out there that I really do love, right? But it's like every couple of months, right, there's videos on how to get more views to your YouTube channel. Do we want to learn how to get more views, or do we want to learn literally how to be more magnetic to the people that we want to attract? Right? That's what really matters, because you may think that it takes thousands and thousands of views in order to get traction in your business. But what I know is that you can have a video that has 50 views, and it only takes one person out of those 50 to say, I want in, I want to work with you, right? I want what it is that you have to offer. They become a buyer and you've made money. You see what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times people have the numbers very, very skewed. Right? Have you ever sat in an auditorium that maybe seats 200 people? That's a lot of people. So if you were to get 200 people viewing your video, not too shabby, right? If you got 50 people that actually open up your email today, because maybe you have a small email list, right? Have you ever been in a space with 50 people? Those are 50 real people with hearts, with minds, with desires, with goals, with dreams, right? Be thankful for the fact that you had an email list to send your offer out to, and that 50 people actually opened it up. So many people spend so much time trying to beat the algorithms, right? Trying to get thousands and thousands and thousands of people to watch, right? When if those are the wrong thousands of people, it doesn't matter. If you always remember, it only takes one person. No one says that you have to go through thousands in order to get one person. Literally, you can have just a couple of people, and one of those people could be the right person that's ready to take action. When you change your mind, right, around your marketing, you realize you don't have to go mad trying to keep up with what is the algorithm doing. All right. Where would you rather invest your time? Hours a week, right? Or hours a month, trying to make sure you're ahead of the algorithms and you're trying to understand these things and throwing away a lot of money, right? Or would you rather err on the side of, I'm just going to get out there every single day, right? And I'm going to title my content the best. I'm going to use the right keywords that, I believe my ideal person is searching for. If it involves hashtags, I'm going to use the hashtags that I believe pertain to them, right? But more importantly, I'm going to make sure that when they do click on my thing, that I am shining, that I am talking directly to them, that they can hear me, they can feel me, right? That they know they're in the right place, right? And I'm going to be magnetic. I'm going to call them in. I'm going to make them want more information. I'm going to let them know I am here for them. Believe it or not, that kind of attitude and showing up that way is way more powerful, right, than having a watered down, weak message in front of thousands of people. All right. So oftentimes, right, when we're worried about the algorithms, we're worried about getting more views, we're worried about getting more clicks. What we're really saying is, I'm worried about the vanity numbers, because clicks and views, while those things, yes, can lead to the outcome that we desire, which is what? Leads and sales, right? To me, that's all that matters, right? If on a daily basis, my email list is growing, right, based upon my targeted style of marketing, then that gives me more people that I get to personally market to on a daily basis through, right, the channels that I own, which is now my email list. Versus waking up in the morning and saying, oh, crushed it, right? Like that video or that live stream got 3,000 views overnight, but yet I look at my ConvertKit and there's no one that opted in, right? That's not good. That's great that I had the vanity numbers, right? But my actual business is not reflecting the fact, right, that my content actually connected with people that give a darn and want to know more about my business. So when you start to understand where the results really matter and you start tailoring your content to get you those results, which is what? Leads, right? Traffic, leads, and sales. It's the message that I learned way back in 2007. And what is traffic, right? Initially, yes, traffic is somebody clicking and deciding to watch as it pertains to your YouTube channel. Right, but the more important part of that traffic is once they're watching your video, getting them over to your sales page, or I'm sorry, over to your capture page and deciding to opt in. That's the most important part of the traffic. And then deciding to become a subscriber on your email list so that they can stay in contact with you and be kept in the know. And then you, right, working your magic, right, by sharing what it is that you do, right, to help them become an actual buyer. All right. So decide who it is you're doing all of this for, all right? Decide what you're actually selling them, right? Show up every single day with a message for them. A message for them. I remember I heard something from Marie Forleo many years ago. And it really has helped me to stay further away from rants, right? And buying into a lot of the negativity that's out there. And she said, talk more about what you love versus what you don't, right? So if you know who your ideal person is, what do you think is going to call them into you more, right? Messages about what you don't like and all of these constant rants, right? Or sharing information and messages of inspiration, of empowerment, right? Giving them insight, sharing your personal journey, letting them know what you're learning, letting them know how you're there for them, all of those things. So if you show up on a daily basis on the chosen platform, right? Because it literally only takes one. You can be on multiple platforms. But what I'm telling you, again, my first sale online after 3 days was from one platform. 28 sales in my first 30 days online, one platform. My first 6-figure year, one platform. One platform that led me to build my email list, right? All it takes is one platform, and you decide to be very, very prolific on that platform so that your people, when they think about you, they want to get updated or they want to know more, they know exactly where to go. All right. Really, really important. So you share a message every day for them and you give call to actions on what they should do next. Do you want to work with me? Go here. Do you want to book a call? Go here. Right? Do you want this free thing that I have for you? Go here. Right? Do you want to learn how to make money with me? Go here. Every single day. Please write that down. That's so important. That's more important than worrying about the friggin' algorithms, right? Every single day. All right? Because believe it or not, the people that you want to attract and that you want to call in and that you actually want to get buy-in from you, they're looking for leadership. They're looking for consistency. They're looking for someone that's going to show up. They're looking for someone that believes enough in what they're doing to, in fact, show up on a daily basis. You realize that's what your attendance in your business says about you, or your absence, right? Your attendance on a daily basis says you believe so much in what it is that you're doing that you're willing to show up every single day and make sure that people understand what you're doing, how you can serve, how you can help, and how they can begin working with you. Your absence says you don't believe in what it is that you are doing, right? Matter of fact, you don't believe in it so much you're not willing to show up. You don't care that you're potentially letting down people. You don't care that you're missing opportunities to connect with people. People are looking for leadership. The very thing you are likely looking for, right, as an online business owner or as someone looking to get into online business ownership, right? What are you looking for? Well, believe it or not, the same thing you're looking for when you begin to step into this role, no matter what it is that you're selling, your customers, right, your potential buyers, they're looking for the same thing. All right. So what's way more important is not trying to figure out, like a mad scientist, how you're going to beat the algorithms, right? And how come what worked yesterday is not working today? All I know is that what I do in my business every single day works for me. What I do in my business every single day works for me. And I spend this amount of time focusing on the algorithms. I spend this amount of time focusing on, how to get more views or how to get more clicks. Instead, if anything, I brush up on my skills, right, on the things that I can actually control, and I simply do more of what I can control, right, to help me get in front of more of the people, right, that are attracted to what it is that I'm doing, to get in front of more of the people that actually want what I have to offer. All right, I hope that makes a lot of sense. All right, so don't spend all of your time trying to figure out the algorithms. All right, like I said earlier, I would literally go mad if that is exactly what I had to do. I've had the most success and the most fun, like literally like today, right? I didn't have to figure out what I was going to do, go live about. I was inspired by some content that I read, right? And then I decided to write up a little thing. I thought I was going to do it for social media, for Facebook. And I said, no, let me dive deeper and send this to my email list, because guess what? That's me being a resource to my email list, like letting them know, here's how to, like, here's a very important marketing update. Out of all the marketing updates that are out there, no, this is the one you really want to pay attention to today. And so I'm believing, right, that out of those that open up my email, they're going to find great value in that information, because they might be people out there right now thinking that they have to beat the algorithms, or spending hours and hours and hours watching content, right, about how to beat the algorithms and what's working right now. All right. And then I was like, well, hey, I'm going to go live, right? And I'm going to actually share this information, right, via YouTube, and help other people that might want to know, right, this important update as it pertains to marketing. Is it really an important update? It is to me. And I believe that if it's important to me, and I know this about marketing, that there are people out there that need to know this as well. Because again, this is the exact information I would have loved to have heard when I first got started, right? Essentially, just be you. Show up every single day and just be you. How can you shine to your ideal people, and how can you be magnetic to them? How can you shine, and how can you be magnetic? And it just goes back to knowing who you're showing up for, what you're selling them, all right? Sharing a message with them every single day, right? Talking directly to them every single day, and then inviting them into your world where they can learn more and where they can buy, right? Where they can learn more and where they can buy. Steph, how often do I do this? You do all of that daily. If you want to make money daily, which that is the community, right, that I am growing, right, Get Paid Daily online community, where we leverage instant pay opportunities to get paid daily, right? If we want to get paid daily, right, then we got to show up and be about our business daily in this way. Forget the algorithms, right? I'm just going to simply show up daily, knowing that no matter what it is that I do, the people that are meant to find it, discover it, click on it, consume it, right, and be touched by it and moved by it, those people will find it. Period. End discussion. I don't need to have any other discussions about algorithms, right? I don't need to have any other discussions, right, from the pros on it. I'm not saying those things don't work. I just choose not to put my energy to that. I would prefer to create. I would prefer to show up for you, right, and help you understand like what's working for me, so that you can decide to take the easier route, right, and do the same thing to get the kind of results for yourself like I'm getting for myself, right? I hope that makes sense. All right. So I think that's all that I had in my notes, right? So instead, right, like I shared earlier, right, decide to show up, decide to shine, and decide to be crazy magnetic. Okay. Decide to be crazy magnetic. That's a big word that I learned way back in 2007 as it pertained to the internet. And I think it's probably been one of my superpowers when it comes to doing well on video, right? I'm not the best speaker. I don't always use the right words. I stumble over my words. Sometimes my factor is way too high, right? But what I get from the people that connect with me is that I am magnetic. They feel like I get them, right? They can connect with me. They can resonate with me. They know I have a sincere desire to help. If you can show up that way every single day and simply let people know that you are about them, please write that down. Let them know that you are about them. Yes, they might be interested in what you actually have to offer, but when they understand that you are about them, what you have to offer, right, makes a heck of a lot more sense to them and is now a lot more desirable. All right. This is something I've been talking about a lot inside of my community. What you want is for people to want what they want and to want it from you. Because on any given day, none of us are selling something so exclusive that someone has to buy it from us. Right? Most of us are selling things that someone could go and buy someplace else. So what we've got to do, which is something no algorithm can do and no platform can do for you, is that we've got to be the one to show up, to shine, to be magnetic, and to make our potential buyers, the ones that are out there searching, we've got to make them, right? Not in a forceful way, but we've got to make them or have the desire to want to buy from us. I got an email yesterday, right, from an awesome lady that I look so forward to working with. And she said, right, I want to do this with you, right? Like basically she's ready to take action, but she wants me to know that she is ready to do this with me. That is what you want. No algorithm, no platform can make the buying process easier for you than you can make it for yourself, right? By literally adapting the mindset, right, of what I shared today. You've got to decide to make this your own. Like you've got to literally realize you are the business, you are the niche, right? Like you are the product, like you are everything in your business, right? And if you start to rely upon all of these external things that you cannot control, you'll end up taking valuable time away from your business. You'll end up zapping yourself of valuable energy that you can never get back. And no matter what it is that you do, you'll be doing it for the wrong reasons, right? You will like tailor your messages and you will tailor your content to try to please the algorithms. And believe it or not, the algorithms don't have a dime for you. The algorithms are never going to buy your product, your service, your opportunity, nothing. The people, right, that will buy your things are the people with money in their pockets that are out there consuming the information. And so if you just have that belief that, you know what, I'm just going to create. I'm going to create under like all the right guidelines that I know, right? I'm going to use all the best measures that I know in terms of things I can control, right? I can responsibly title my content. I can use keywords, right? I can make sure that my content is very relevant so that when they do click on the thumbnail and they view the title as I begin to speak, right, they understand what I'm sharing is very relevant and they stick around. Like do all the things that you can control and just decide to do them every single day. And the people that are meant to find your content, consume your content, and take action on your content, they absolutely will. All right, they absolutely will. All right. So on any given day, you have a choice. All right. You can either start focusing more on the things you cannot control. It's like I said earlier, be in your business like a mad scientist, trying to get to the bottom of things, and you end up frustrated, right? You spend more of your time complaining, right? And these things take you out of your business. They take you out of your mojo, right? They take you out of the energy and the vibe, right, of what it takes to be magnetic. Or you can decide to literally, right, show up, shine, and be magnetic and position yourself to cash in on a daily basis. That's the decision I choose to make inside of my business. All right. Though that's the decision I choose to make inside of my business. And if you just want to kind of understand more about what I know around this, feel free, go to YouTube and just type in like TikTok updates or YouTube updates or Instagram updates or algorithm changes, right? And just be kind of amused, right, at the content that you're going to find. Not to say anything negative about any of these creators. They are doing their part. They believe they're being helpful and they're not being unhelpful. It's just for a person like me, I choose to know that paying attention to those things are not the most productive use of my time. This is a better use of my time versus saying, oh, I knew I was doing it wrong. I'm so glad I found this video. I knew I was doing it wrong. And now second guessing every single thing I do in my business, right? I cannot bring authentic energy into that. My vibe will be off. My marketing mojo will be off, right? I will not be as magnetic. And I know that I will not be primed in position to call in the people, right, that are meant for my message if I'm worrying about what the experts are saying about the algorithms and how to beat it for the month. That's just insane to me. How to beat it for the month? Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? No flipping way. So I hope that this could be an inspiration to you. Right? What I believe is learning the fundamental skills. I believe in learning how to connect with people, how to lift people up, how to inspire people, how to communicate with people, how to create for people, right? How to use the platforms like as your playground to create content, right, that other people are going to connect with and enjoy to watch and will subscribe, right? And then we'll pop over to your website to learn more about what it is that you're doing. I believe in focusing more there. All right. And so if you want to learn more about working with me, potentially as your mentor, you want to learn how I actually make money online by helping people learn digital marketing and learn, right, how to use the platforms of the internet so that, guess what, you never have to be reliant upon what other people are saying. But when you learn the fundamentals, I feel like I'm going to go on a whole like rant around this, not in a bad way, but what I know from my 16 years of experience, when you choose to get it for yourself, all right, you no longer have to rely upon what other people say. So even like many years ago, people used to say things like email is dead. They don't say it as much anymore because they tend to get blasted. All right. They talk about email open rates. They talk about how email is dead and how there are better things to do versus building an email list. Right. But as I look into digital marketing stats say that like a good share of businesses report that email marketing is their highest return on investment. For every $1 spent on emails, $36 is returned. So yes, much like vanity numbers, right? You can focus on the vanity numbers of email marketing and say, oh my gosh, it's dead. Hardly anybody opens up email. Like that's bogus, right? I think everyone I know to some degree opens up their email. Maybe not as much as others, but people are still very much so opening their emails. I make money because I have an email list and because I email my list. So I remember many years ago, as people were saying email marketing was dead, even though I didn't view myself as a guru, and I certainly believed there were people out there that knew way more than I did, I stuck to my guns and I said, this just makes zero sense. Like, don't tell me to go to Snapchat. Like, that's what people were saying. We were around that time, right? Like, forsake building an email list and instead use what's the direct messaging via like Facebook Messenger. Really? So I'm supposed to not email my list anymore and forsake my email list for message marketing? No, I don't think I'm going to do that. And then what would happen? A span of time would go by and people were like, oops, my bad. Oops, my bad. Carry on building your email list. And I was like, thought so. And then Snapchat. We were all supposed to pause what we were doing and everyone flocked to Snapchat. Right? I was like, nah, I think I'm good. I'm just going to keep doing what I know to do. I'm going to stick to YouTube. I'm going to stick to my email list. Right? Stick to showing up and shining and being magnetic. I think I'm just going to kick it there and keep doing those things. And then all of a sudden, like, I don't hear anyone talking about the need for Snapchat. There's always going to be something newer and hotter. When it comes to YouTube, a lot of people look at YouTube as being, oh my gosh, it's such a slow build. Right? Don't do YouTube. It's such a slow build. But then what I know is I see big time gurus that built on Instagram first. And do you know what they say as they come to YouTube? I wish I would have invested my time on YouTube early on, because on Instagram, I got to keep creating. I got to keep creating because there's no long-term vibe on Instagram. Yeah, you're doggone right there isn't. You can't build evergreen on those platforms. And so for me, I'm so glad when I got started, I did not fall for the okie doke when it came to learning this stuff, because I learned how to develop a mind of my own when it came to these things. And almost without fail, and honestly, I can't think of anything where I was like, oh, they had it right. Maybe I should have did that, right? The only thing that I wish I would have hung on a little bit longer to was maybe Bitcoin. Just kind of a joke. But nothing marketing related was I ever like, oh, they had it right. Right? When everyone jumped on Threads really, really fast. I did, and I'm like, one day, and I was like, nah, it don't feel like the right move to me. I'm going to rock steady with what I know. Right? With what I know. And even back to YouTube. So many people have exploded on other platforms, and then they end up coming to YouTube. And if you watch any of their content, they will all say, you'll hear them say, right, this is where I should have been from the beginning, because this is the long-term play. This is the place where your content builds upon itself, where you actually build a library of content that can continue to be discovered, right, long after you've actually created it. And that cannot be said on the other platforms. Not to say you can't make money there. But if I were going to choose, or I were going to consult with someone, right? I would say definitely make sure that you are creating content on a regular basis for YouTube, because this will be your long-term play. Let's say for the 16 years I've been online, if I was selling the same thing for the entire 16 years and all of my content on YouTube, right, was around that topic and around that offer, I would still be generating leads to this very day from content that I created years ago. The way that I know that is that there was a span of time for many years where I was promoting the same style of opportunities, and I would end up getting phone calls, emails, messages, and people inquiring if I was still promoting that thing that I was promoting years ago. So people were still finding my videos and my content from years ago, again, long after I had did it. That's magical. That's magical. Okay. The only way for someone to be acquainted with your content on any of the social media platforms is if they just deliberately go there and just decide to peruse. Those algorithms are not necessarily throwing your old content out in front of people, right? Not if you're a regular okie doke person. They're just not. You generally have to pay for ads to get that content out there, right? And so again, another instance where I was like, you know what, no matter what comes and goes, I'm rocking steady with YouTube, because I keep seeing the same behavior being repeated by people that all of a sudden, this is where I wish I would have built, right? It's the place to be. So again, I'm glad, right? This is not about what platform's best, but it's an example of I'm glad that I understood and I was able to develop my own mind around how to think about my business, because believe it or not, I've always chosen right when it comes to sticking to the strategies that are tried, true, and tested. All right. And that's why I just don't play into all of this algorithm things. All right. I just don't have the time, don't have the energy. And I would rather be in this creative state like this, showing up for people, real people. All right. So if you want to learn more about possibly working with me as your mentor, you want to learn more about how I make money online and how I help people get set up for online business success, where you can both learn everything you need to learn about building a six-figure online business for yourself by learning real digital marketing skills, and then also being able to make money from the same platform with a license that we give you. Go to GoProWithSteph.com to get all of the information in your hands. When you go to GoProWithSteph.com, you're also going to be on my email list. And I'm going to be sharing some really, really exciting news on a new little funnel that I actually created to help me and my community actually be able to make more money. So if you want to stay in the know, at the very least, go to GoProWithSteph.com, opt in there, learn more about this amazing Earn and Learn program that will allow you to make money on a daily basis as you are learning and developing your digital marketing and online business skills, and position yourself to be able to be a real resource to other people out there that are flocking to the internet wanting to learn how they can get their piece, right, of the online business pie, of the digital marketing pie, of being able to make money on the internet. All right. So again, I really, really hope that this information today leaves you well, and I hope that it allows you to begin to think differently about what you pay attention to, where you give your time, your energy, and your focus to, and that you decide to spend a lot more time right in front of people, right, that actually have the money that you desire, versus trying to focus on the algorithms, which you absolutely have no control over. All right. So I hope you enjoyed these important updates for your online business success for, like it says, 2023 and forever, right? And forever. All right. I really hope that this message is something that you keep coming back to. And I hope that, months and years into your business, it's one of those messages that you say, I'm so thankful that I heard this message, because it's helped me make better decisions in terms of how I spend my time and my energy and what I do in my days to create the success that I desire. So again, this message, if I have to preface it, so you understand the gravity is coming from someone that earns over 6 figures a year inside of their business, over $100,000 a year inside of their business, right? And loves to make sure that people have access to the fundamentals, right, to help them develop their business correctly, so that you can not only make money for the day, right, or for today, right, but that you also are setting yourself up for the long term. All right. Have a fantastic day. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe, click on notifications, and go to goprowithsteph.com, or just check the description for the links that you need. And if I can answer any questions for you, just hit reply on any email that you may receive from me after you opt in, and I'll be there for you. All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.